All right. We should be live. Let's check in on the streams. Welcome to the live stream. Twitch, YouTube is live. Kick is live. Facebook, let's hit that go live button. We are live on Facebook. This is the Sam Crescent Art Stream. You are watching Sam Crescent. Let's get into it. I go live every single friggin' day. I work on my drawings, work on my comic books, working on all my art projects, working on my art business. Let's get this party started. We've got to get going right now. There's so much to do today. I'm going to be warming up. This was yesterday's warm-up. Let's work on today's warm-up. This is going to be another hand from Bridgman's Book of 100 Hands. I have made it as far as page, what are we on now? 66 of 182. So we are making our way through this thing, and we will continue to do this. Now, we're drawing another hand illustration, but it is from a slightly different angle than what we were before. I want to just kind of get it laid in here, see what we've got, something like that. All right, let's turn off the onion skin. I just wanted it somewhere close to the same position as the hand from the other day. Let's see here, and I'm going to kind of get some of these big shapes in a little bit more, and we'll move on with the rest of this hand. It is today. It is June 10. June 10, 2026. We are getting to entering deep into the summer months soon. Summer has officially begun here. Much to do. Next show coming up for me is going to be the Rose Bowl Flea Market this weekend. It should be a hot one. We're looking at about an high 80s to 90 degrees out there in beautiful Pasadena, California. One of my favorite markets to go to. I'm very much looking forward to it. I will be hitting the printing press today. If you go to my Instagram, you can see my most recent story. You will learn that the new press, the new printing press, has arrived. It has been my son and I installed it into our screen print shop yesterday. It is fully operational, just like the Death Star from Star Wars. And we will be printing on that for the first time today. We're going to see what we can do here. Restocking to start with, and then hoping to get 2 new shirts out in time for DesignerCon. I have DesignerCon coming up, and there's several things that I hope to have in the booth in time for that show. I'm very excited about it. DesignerCon was always a great show for me when it was in California before they moved it out to Las Vegas. They are now bringing it back. They're bringing an edition of the show back to Pasadena where it started. And I'm super pumped about that. It should be really cool to be back in California, where they had a very strong support. They had a very strong base that would attend it, that would buy there. They had people that would buy. It was a good money show. And I'm not sure exactly why they made the ludicrous decision to move it to Las Vegas. It was a bad move. Went to the first Las Vegas one, saw the situation. No buyers were showing up. Nobody was attending this thing. Money was lost. Nobody was making sales. I passed after that. Got a first-hand report the next year, just as bad. And I'm glad they came to their sensibilities and that they're bringing an edition of the show back to California. I don't think Las Vegas is going to work out long term. Las Vegas is a mess right now. Nobody wants to go there anymore. The next generation doesn't care about all that bullshit. Going to a place where you're literally you're supposed to spend your money on these games and all these activities where all the odds are stacked against you. You are most likely going to lose. They're going to take your money when you lose. I mean, that's literally everyday life for what the next generation of kids is facing right now, is like a world that is literally stacked against them. Everyone's going to take their money and they're guaranteed almost to lose. So why would you want to go someplace and pay for that experience? That's what blows my mind. Nobody wants to do that anymore. It's a freaking joke. And that's all I have to say is, nobody cares about that place anymore. Nobody cares about, and listen, I have people in Las Vegas that buy my art, that love my stuff, that I like. There's so many things I like about Las Vegas. What I'm talking trash on is that old model of the Strip and of all these stupid casinos and putting a show. They've got a new convention center downtown that the World Trade Center that they're trying to build up. And the World Trade Center is nice. It's much nicer, in my opinion, than the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's not as big, but it's a much nicer, new facility, state-of-the-art. And they're trying to create that into a more artsy art-type district. And there's a bunch of weird installations around there and stuff that I honestly don't really understand or get, to tell you the truth. But it is kind of strange, to be honest, what's going on there. I don't really understand it. Listen, the local economy in Las Vegas is obliterated right now. Everyone who actually lives there, which I know quite a few people, they are struggling, man. They are in a high inflationary environment with a lot of low-paying jobs with predominantly casinos that aren't doing well, and people don't want to go to those stupid casinos anymore. They don't want to just throw their money down a garbage disposal, and all of the perks for the poor people, I don't know if you'd call them poor people, for regular people, they are gone. The free buffets, the cheap this and the cheap that to get people into the casino and spend money and stuff, that's all gone. Doesn't really exist anymore. And so everyone is struggling there, man. People who live there struggle. And so Las Vegas it's a mess. It's a friggin' mess. And that's all I can say about it, Now, when it comes to all this stuff, hold on, I gotta set up the next one. I can't talk and think always at the same time. I want to do one more of these bad boys here. Let's get this in here. Yeah, so what I was saying basically is when it comes to Las Vegas, when it comes to all these casinos, nobody wants this bullshit anymore. They don't want it, man. Like, people just aren't going to do it. The next generation is waking up, and they're realizing that they're not going to just hand their money over to a bunch of mobsters running these casinos, that they don't have to do it, and there's better things to do with that money. There's not to mention that the market for gambling has completely changed anyway. If that's your jam, you can do it online 24/7 now. You can do, they got prediction markets now. You can just go on your brokerage and gamble on a prediction market. There's so much gambling available every place today that there's literally no reason to even go to Las Vegas anymore. There's just no reason for it. It's the heyday of Las Vegas. It's done. It's done. It's over. And I've been watching the convention circuit there. I've been on the convention scene in Las Vegas for a long time. Vegas is close. It's not far away from me, man. I can get there in half a day. And I used to love to go out there to do conventions. And the unfortunate thing is, it's just not been profitable lately. I did one this year, and it ran just barely above break even. And that's, I don't have to stay any place there. I have friends. I stay with my friends when I go there. I'm not renting a hotel or anything. So even with the cost of gas, the cost to sell at the show, the cost of my goods that I sold, it was really the problem was the Saturday crew did not show up at this show. Sunday was actually a pretty strong day and did well, which is surprising. Usually these conventions will, Saturday is a strong day, and this was a horror-themed convention, which is right up my alley because I've got a ton of monster stuff, and I do really well at some of these horror-themed shows, but this Las Vegas show was a flop. And I gave it a shot. I'm not gonna risk going back. Would love to get Vegas back on a line somehow. Get it back on the tour. Get Vegas back on the circuit. But right now, I just don't. There's just not an opportunity there. And really, it's like the problem is the hotels and casinos. They're going to continue to be beat down. And because of that, the locals, they're going to continue to struggle because there's not really much other economy there. All right, that's it for Bridgman, I think. Let's do another one. Let's onion skin this bad boy, and let's see what would happen if I went. Whoops. I'm making this hand up now. See if I can do it. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of like rotating this hand over a little bit. To attempt to make it up. That's not where I want that to go. Got something going there. No. That little shelf thing that Bridgman does isn't working here. Something like that. Let's fix these fingers here. No, that's a giant ass fingernail. Interosseous muscle. What the heck, man? Come on, where's my stuff? Something like that. Now we've got the hand turning here, turning. And I turned it over. This is too much, but we'll fix that. All right. Good enough for today's warm-up. We'll save that later. All right, next I've got this Mech Gorilla illustration that I need to finish. And this is for the comic book, and I'm kind of stuck on the comic book. We finished, I'll complete another page. I've got to complete this Mech Gorilla thingy next. So we got a leg there. Now the layers on this thing are an absolute mess. Okay, there's a layout layer that I don't need. Back. Hips. All right, so we've got to start getting these hands and arms in here. So let's work on that a little bit. And we can work on this one. We've got to use this tool. And it's basically this kind of like curve tool. We can use different curves in here. And see what we can come up with. Now that's a little bit... let's make the brush a little thicker. So I'm still kind of learning this tool here in Procreate, but or Clip Studio, sorry, Clip Studio Paint. But for this dude, oh, okay, I see how that goes. Okay, I didn't want to do that. He's a mech character. Just kind of playing with this a little bit, see what we got here. Okay, so I see how that works now. And so he needs perfect. He needs perfect lines, and I'm not going to use that. So I'm just going to stick with this curve tool. He because he's what the heck? Okay, why is it giving me this weird stuff here? Just it's not working correctly now. For some reason, it's putting down two points. I don't want that. All right, what happened there? This doesn't work anymore. I don't want this. I want to use this curve tool. It's giving me, it's not working. Maybe I use my mouse, it'll work. I'm gonna have to look up how this thing works. Okay, none. All right, so that's all that stuff. So why is it now suddenly not doing it correctly? Maybe I'm supposed to hold down a button? Why is it putting 2 points down right next to each other? I don't get it, man. Isn't what it was doing before. I'll have to look up this thing. Is there something I'm missing? What's the deal? Something's wrong with the tool property and I don't know what it is. Let's see. Maybe I can use some other tool here that'll work. That's not it. So how do I work this here? Whoops. If I use this one, let's brush a little bit bigger. Over here. All right, so that's how that one works. That's going to be super hard. Let's try this one. Well, how do I make it curve? So if I just want to make a line that curves here and is a perfect curve, how the hell do I do it? That's not going to work. Try this one. Yeah, I don't really like this. It's not. I mean, it can kind of give me something. And this one doesn't work anymore. This line I don't like. And this one has got to be changed as well. Forgot how this worked here. I don't like that. Let me see. What does this thing look like here? from the front because I designed a front view of this guy. Where is this thing? Mech Gorilla. Okay, so this is the front of the character. I need to be able to see this because I got to remember like how I figure out how I did these forearms and stuff. Okay, so now I see that it's just this is wrong. And I'm gonna get my pen tool because if I were to draw it, it's basically this. This comes in here. And then friggin' eyes. Something like this though. I want to just look at an idea of like I wonder if it would look cooler. It was just that. I think it would look better. And it didn't have this like indent part. So I think I'm going to change it. Whoops. Let's see here. Let's find out where. Okay, so that's all together. So let's see here. Move this down just a tad. This is where like if this curve tool worked, but it doesn't, it would be perfect. So just have to freehand that. There. It's going to stay like that. That can stay. There. So what we want to see is take the main illustration to marquee this out. We have it there. Now forearm. This is the old forearm, but I gotta be willing to make design changes as we go. And I'm thinking that I want to see what it's going to look like with a different forearm on here. So I'm taking the old one off here. Still have it on another layer so I can turn it back on if we decide that we like it. There's the old form. It's a new form. Until I see them side by side, I just don't know. But kind of thinking that like just making the fist a big gauntlet like that, I just think it's gonna look better. I kind of like that design better than that. That's kind of wimpy. That looks cooler, if you ask me. So now let's see here. Would I delete off the... What's that? Where's the layout layer, huh? Guess I deleted it. Draw the new form here. All I did was all of that. We needed a line that came down there and there. No, that one's off. Let's get this line in correctly. Essentially, I've got to get this Mech Gorilla worked out before I can move on with the comic, because he's a major character in the comic book in the next few pages, and so his design has to be solidified. Put this up here. I can still kind of have this there. This cannot be there. Go around there like that. No, something like this. Okay. Now, turn these off. Let's duplicate the old forum so I still have the old design. But we will be replacing it with a new design. It's better. Oh yeah. So there's that one. I like those new. I like these new forums much more. Much more. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. I think this kind of detail here coming around is kind of neat. We'll have just a little bit showing like a little bit of a ridge there maybe, but that's going to be it. So now when we're looking at this from the rear view, it's a completely different beast here. Is there a way I can see these at the same time? That's what I'm wondering. Let me see if I can just like copy this. Edit. No, that's just going to copy part of it, though, is the problem. Is there a way to copy all of it? No. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. So I end up with that old one. The heck? Let me see. I'm gonna look up online if there's a way to copy everything visible. Merge visible layer to new layer command. So saying in Clip Studio to do this. Select layer, merge visible layer to new. Okay, let's try that. So we're in here, we're gonna go layer. Merge visible layers to new layer. Okay, so now we've got one. That I can put down here. Let's shrink this guy down. Just shrink him down here. Unfortunately, I left the white background on, so that's why he's got that. Okay, so now at least I can kind of see the design. When I deleted off the white background, it weakened it, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we go, what do we got here? We got something here, and I'm just going to abandon all of it. And it looks like it's basically like I mean, it's basically like this. That's what we're dealing with here. And for the design of the back, where this part plugs in, yeah, I just want it to be, let's correct this a little bit here. Yeah, shit. What the heck is that? I just want it to go into, like, I just want it to be like a round area like that. You know, and that's it, man. This is like, if we were gonna render it, it'd be kind of curving this way. Coming down, and then we've got the hand down there. So that's kind of what it is. I'm gonna take this out. Don't need it. Do that with color later. That's all it is. That's all it needs to be, is that. Just keep it simplified. Keep the design. We don't want the design to get too crazy. All right, so we got that forearm. Now we can get the hand. And the hand on the front is just that. It looks like it would be, we've got to kind of design these fingers here. So what I would do is go here, bring them up. that. It looks like he's got this knuckle like that. Let's see if we can kind of improve this a little bit more. Because what I'm thinking is kind of like a ramp down here. Doesn't look that cool, but now since we know this stuff about Bridgman, we can go here and do the thumb like that and bifurcate it there, and that's going to look pretty rad. And then it's just two segments here. This one. Now, ideally, I would like this arm to be not touching the leg. And that's two. Segment two. So we got two segments there. Interlocks there. Got that segment there. And I think, yeah, these fingers just be this. Oops, turn off this guy. And then for the pinky side, let's pull up Bridgman. There's a cool, he has a whole section on the pinky side in that muscle, which is the something digiti minimi. So I haven't gone to the pinky side yet, but I want to go there and look at how Bridgman breaks down that shape. So looking at the little finger side, should be the former view maybe of it. No. You can look at this view though, and that's pretty good. It's there, and then it stretches up here like that. So I would do something like that for it, and that would be it. And then I think on this one too, do something like that, and it's gonna look cool, kind of cool. So that's the back of the hand. That looks pretty neat. And I think I'm going to do something more to design the front of the hand here, so it's not quite so boring. We'll come up with that later. All right, so we got the back of the hand design. Let's move this. I'm rotating that out there so we don't have overlap. Let's see here. What's what here? Where's my rough layout? In that rough layout. Turn that off, and then let's redo this one. I'm going to draw over this one here, do a cleaner version of it. And I plan on, as soon as I have this design locked, I'm going to have a 3D model built of this character to help me draw it, because there's so much different specific angles and details on this thing that I'm going to need that to help me keep it consistent, especially while I memorize a character like this. I've memorized the gist of it, of the face, but it's actually a lot to get down. Gorillas have pointy thumbs like that. That's why I'm changing that to there. Yeah. Yes. Tuck that one in and it doesn't look as good. All right, that's better. So we got the mech hand dropped in. And the new form is just yikes. That plugs in like that. That's basically it. Now layout off. I'm happy with that. And the other thing I could do, it would be to bisect the fingers more like that. Let's see what it would look like. I mean, now we're adding more elements, though, of detail. It does look better, though. See how cool, much cooler that looks? That's the ramp that I wanted to begin with. See, now we've got these cool ramp fingers. Way better. Let's fix this small finger here. It's off. Let's see. That's better.
Anna Cordes says, AI viewers stream blue. Com.
Bot attack. All right. That's a way cooler looking hand. Now, where's my... This bifurcation would be going around it somewhere. Something like that, maybe. Whoops. See how that looks. Yeah, that's... I think it just needs that little bit of plane there. Plane change there. All right, let's see what's happening here, man. Twitch, YouTube. Kick and Facebook, they're all going. So things are going well. So we're building out this this mech gorilla that I've been working on for a while, and I need to finish it because it's necessary for the next part of my comic book. And he's going to be pretty rad. I mean, you can see that is friggin' awesome. I'm very happy with it. Super cool, doped down, diddly funked out awesomeness. I don't know what that means, but I heard a guy say it once. And I was like, okay. So All right, let's lock this in where it's kind of supposed to go. There we go. All right, so now we got to just get the other arm, and I kind of want to move that to, let me see, where is this bad boy? I'll put all this stuff in a folder so that I don't have to keep looking through it. That's the other leg. I am confused. What are we looking at here? What is all this? These are all details. Okay, this is probably the bulk of the guy. Huge part of upper body. Detail. Detail. Arm. I got this layout that's turned on and I don't know where it is. Driving me nuts. It's not turned on. It's on here and it just has to be taken off. So probably accidentally merge the layers together, not realizing that there's a layout in there. I'm wondering if I can move the location of this. To there. Then this one, I'm going to move the location of this one. To there. So it's like we have a plane going this way. My logic on this is we have a plane going this way here, and then it turns here, and it turns there, like that. I'll just keep those rendering lines in. That way we know what's happening. Happening on a picture. All right, same thing. Looks like I accidentally merged some of these layout lines onto the final line art. We'll pull those off. And then let's move this guy to there. All right, that's better. And if we were going to render it, basically this. This one. Go there. Hold on a minute. Be like that. That one's good. This one's not. Be like that. Yeah, so I could render this guy out. Perhaps I will at some point. It's enough of that, though. Keep that off for now. Okay, so we've got to do the other arm here, the other hand, in order to complete the rear view of the mech gorilla. So we're looking at the rough layout again. And I've done far less here, so let's kind of start drawing this in. This is where I could really freaking use this curve tool if it would just work. Oh, yes. Why now? Why now? What just happened? I think it's because I drew the curve, maybe? What did I do differently that time? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But, holy hell. Ah, you have to drag it. Now I understand how it works. Look at that. Friggin' beautiful. Now these sections are way too big. So let's redo this. Let's make this a little bigger for okay. Whoopsies. Yes. Much better. So you just have to drag it. Looks like there's going to be like one more section visible. It's basically something like that. Now let me see here. the idea behind these arms is like this can coil all the way up in here or it can extend way out. That's just like one of his features. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom, guys. So anyway, let's get all this roughed in, and then I'll do another pass over the top. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom soon, though. Why? Why are you giving me problems, Thumb? I've drawn you so many times, Thumb. There we go. Just every single thing is a design of some kind. Mechanized gorilla. Go to the right layer for that. I mean, this will be the coolest, kind of like one of the coolest mech gorillas ever, if you ask me. Ever designed. Oh no. I gotta wake people up. Last battle, final fight. All right, what do we got going here? His hand might be growing a little too big, but that's all right. We'll shrink it to size, or we'll blow the other one up bigger. I'm not sure yet. But we're going to get these two arms in today. There's much more to design with this guy, but we are well on our way now. Now I'm thinking, should I make the other hand bigger? I'm thinking yes. I'm gonna find it. So there's still lots of proportions that have to be adjusted on this thing. Yeah, I like that more with like just giant freaking hands. It's just gonna make the whole design of this thing all the more interesting. All right, so let's get one more pass on this, and this will be finalized. So, oops, we need a layer here. I'm just gonna freehand mostly. Because the reality is, if you can match up your curve tool to the line that you want and then snap it, chances are you have the ability to just freehand the line. It's like there's a saying that, like, if you have the ability to line up the ruler or the French curve to draw the curved line, then you probably have the ability to just draw the curved line. And that's kind of why I'm just freehanding this instead of using the snap tools. Now on this stuff, these bigger curves, I'm just going to use the crutch. Too much. Yeah, so I'm probably going to have to do some screen printing today. I want to work on the hats. I've got a ton of stuff still that I need to color that I haven't even gotten to. But right now, this is one of those things that I've needed to get finished for a long time. And as you can see, I have been working this guy for a while, because you can see a lot of his design is worked out. Some of it still is going to be changed and manipulated. I think his head's going to have to be bigger. But we are... I mean, this is going to be an Aces design. Nobody will have seen anything like it. And you'll see, I'm going to make this thing into action figures. I'm going to build a mascot costume for him, all kinds of stuff. Very much looking forward to finishing this and getting to the next step of hiring a sculptor to sculpt my thing. We're not there yet, but we will be. I'm just gonna erase off this old one. Actually, I'll lasso it off, or I will marquee it off in Clip Studio World. There, let's marquee this out there since I made a change to that. There, it's pretty good. Let's not do that. Let's not do that, please. Voila. We are looking pretty friggin' awesome here. If you ask me. Damn it. Right here. This bad boy, right. What's the... This bad boy right here. All right. All right, there we go. So we've got the hands put in. We made some adjustments to the legs. We can put some rendering back there. I mean, eventually I'll render this whole thing out just so we know where all the planes and stuff are. So that's just temporary rendering. The front of the gorilla, I'm going to have to redesign these hands. They look super lame right now. We did redesign those. These hands will be bigger. And then we gotta figure out if we want to give him a bigger head too. But we're on our way. Let's save this up. That's all I gotta do for today on the Mech Gorilla rear view. Very happy with that. It's coming along really nicely. For the zombie hats, let's drop in a couple more. And I'm going to start painting these today. So let's see what we've got here. Let's see here. Where's my thing? All right, let's see what we can do here for... I was on the wrong thing. Where am I? Zombie has Clip Studio. All right. Just go riff off this old classic design here. Something there. Nose here. Bring it up. Wrinkly there. Here. And what should I do with the rest of the mouth? Something like that. All right, we've got it. Eyeballs will give this guy something there. I mean, these monster hats that I'm going to make are going to be so aggressive that I don't know, man. If people will even buy them, they're just going to be so crazy. Part of the reason why I'm doing monster hats like this, zombie hats, is just because I can draw this stuff in my sleep. And every once in a while, it's like you need some low hanging fruit, you know? You need some stuff that you can just hammer out and not have to freaking work so damn hard to achieve. Whereas, like, a lot of the stuff that I do is like, I'm just always trying to push everything to new levels. And it's like, yeah, you know, sometimes it feels good to just draw something that is not going to give you, you know, give you a headache. It's not going to cause you to have to problem solve so much. Now, what else could we do with this dude? I mean, his ears would be over here. Problem is, I really have very low motivation to keep reprinting my old shirts, though. I'm just so tired of printing the same ones. I just want to make the new ones. And that might be what I end up doing today, because I just don't know if I have the wherewithal to just keep printing stuff that's like old. I do got to get some stuff done. That'll be it for that guy. There's another one. Now let's see what we can think of here. Look up for some inspiration here. All right, let's try it. We'll try something with a pointy nose. I'm just looking up at my Pinterest some different cartoon boards. We need to do a gorilla one too, though. But the drawings I'm coming up with are just wholly they're just wholly made up. Let's do something more with this nose here. Definitely bugs coming down. It's pretty good. Let's adjust the locality of this. Right there. A little bit more structure to that nose. Yeah. Excuse me for that disgusting belch. There'll be plenty more where that came from. What else could we get doing with this guy here? cheekbone here. Strange nose structure, snot coming out. I think that's all I want him to be, to tell you the truth. That is just that. I need to make a stencil that is this. It's just going to be like a pattern that goes something like that, so I can get these like bursts. Something like that. And that's not it. Something like that, and that's not it. These hats might be too weird for people, but so we got all those ones. We got these designs here that I've done already. And then we've got these designs here that I've done now. I'm gonna do gorilla. Oh, let's do a gorilla design. All right. Let's see what we can come up with for gorilla. Something like here. Yeah, I think more of a shape like this. Be better. There. My eyes itching. Pause under nose. Pretty much all you got to do when it comes to gorillas. There. Let's distort this a little bit. Let's see what's what here. Mesh, that's what it's called. It's called mesh. But I don't see it anywhere. Distort, skew, perspective, pre-transform. What the heck is mesh? I No, that's what it was called. Oh well. Come on, get me out of this. Oh well, let's just do it. Let's just draw this thing, see what we can come up with from it. Problem is, it doesn't look crazy enough, man. It looks just like a gorilla looking at you, but it's not. There's nothing crazy about that. Let's redo it. I like that idea here. We gotta do something more nuts with these eyes. I mean, that's a pretty weird looking guy. Let's see if I want to do this. Sure. And if I did it, just like this. Like that more. I don't know. I don't like that. Taking that out of there. I'm gonna do it like that. It's more imposing. And we can kind of pick. All right, we got to switch over to coloring and stuff now. That's good progress on all those. So we can go here. Pull it up. Where is it? All right, so we're back on the Zombie Command project here. And I feel like I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna have to take a break. But we want to color adjust this thing first. And let's start with this. And let's go to a brush, soft brush. Let's make it really big. Let's knock the opacity down 20%. I don't want these highlights back here in the back. There's no reason for them. We want all the attention up here, so that's gone. What I think I'm gonna do is grab this blue on a multiply layer, pull up another layer. Let's make this multiply too. This highlight on this curve is like crazy bright. Like, no. You know, this background stuff, keep it in the background. There we go. That's better. Now there's at least a hierarchy to this. And it's like, even this is like, why do we have stuff glowing back here, you know? It's back there. Okay, now there's a hierarchy to this. This is where the attention's to be. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. When I get back, we're going to color hold this thing on the line art, drop a texture, and I think it'll be done. There's not that much to do here. So I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. Had to go to the bathroom. I need to set up my studio mode on the live so that we can I can put up a be right back with a clock that counts down. My buddy Scott was showing me how to do it. And I'm gonna do it. But I've got too many frying pans going at the same time right now. Let's alpha lock this. Start getting some color in here. What do we want here? Some color. All right, brush this up. Let's go with a hard brush that's 0. Okay, we're gonna need a darker color than that. Go even darker. Oh, it's practically all the way black now. What the heck? Do 20%. Let's go with a. Just want to paint down these lines here so they integrate more with the background of this piece. All right, now let's go with something like that. Nope. To recess this in a little bit more, huh? So this background here is for my game Zombie Command. It is to be a collectible card game wherein you build your city with the background cards, and we have all manner of them. This is one of the city cards. This is the Storm Drain, and it's a strategy game. It is you need to take command of all the zombies and destroy the city. This card specifically is an interesting one because you would be able to get your zombie in the Storm Drain in the sewage system. And if you are, then at that point you can essentially kind of move around the subterranean areas of the game and attack other players without them being able to stop you, because they won't be able to know that you're in there. You can essentially, the other player has to like close their eyes and you hide your zombie underneath a card, a city card, and they don't know where it is. And if they land on it, they get attacked and destroyed and bitten. But the game is at the phase where I've got all the assets pretty much produced, but we need to play test it a lot. Now I know the play test at first, just make dummy assets. I kind of have, but I mean, I knew the assets that I wanted the game to have, but yes, I got to start play testing the ever living daylights. I got to play test the ever living daylights out of this game, much as possible. And I will play test this thing. So hopefully, I just need to finish off these cards so that we've got the right asset to play test with, and we'll be going like crazy on this thing, play testing it all summer. So much to do this summer. just select this color and then knock it down a level. Hit the brush and boy, it's a little more sidewalk cracks are a little more integrated in. We don't need harsh lines on this thing for, you know, I want to look a little more painterly, I guess. With that color down a notch. That's pretty cool for that. Now we just need to drop in some texture, some splatter, stuff like that. I think for this texture on this, well, let's see what we can pull up here. Brushes. I've been using these like machine shop textures. They've been okay. Let's see what we got. That one maybe. Let's see what this looks like. First thing we're gonna do is okay, what's the deal with this? Something's stuck. All right, so you got that. All right, why am I unable to do anything in this document? What I want to do is pull the white background off of this. It's actually easier to pull a white background off in Procreate. Now we can change this to any color we want. I'm going to flip it over. Let's reduce the size to the right size. Do we want to stretch it or bring it out? We'll bring it out. Let's alpha lock this sucker. We'll use this kind of blue color. What the heck? Okay. Multiply color burn, darker color. We could go in reverse actually. I mean, I wonder how that would look if I did reverse it. So what we do is we go copy. Whoops. What happened? Why is it doing that? There we go. There we go. This is a fill. We're just going to do a black fill, even though I don't really need it. Now I'll apply this mask. Okay, so now we've reversed it. Select all, copy. Paste the reverse onto this storm drain. Then my idea about it is we give it the same kind of blue color. But then we set it to a lighter color. Saturation. I don't know, like that. I'm gonna veto this one. For this one now, we need to erase stuff off of it. So for example, this here, erase this off. 30%. That's better. The heck, man. Just kind of changing the perspective on this a little bit. We've got some variation on the driveway. And I'm gonna just keep that there because it knocks that down a little bit. I could do this. kind of perspective this a little bit more. That works. I think if I just throw some noise over the top, we're done. So let's get a noise layer going. So we go to our office building, as we did last week, which is looking pretty good. Delete off that. Put that one on, and we're going to put it to overlay. And now we're just going to knock it down to about 20%. 25, maybe 30. About there. And that kind of helps. Gives it kind of that grainy old school look, which is what we want. I don't like this kind of airbrushy look right here. So I'm going to get it out of there. I thought I did get it out. I don't know why that was popping before. Maybe something wasn't turned on. Huh. Oh, this must not have been turned on. Who is this? That's the drawing I did. Yeah, see, that was bothering me. That's way better. Let's put this in perspective here. So I'm just going to kind of outline the texture up here. And get it more in perspective with what we're looking at. There we go. Oops, gonna save that. Okay, this one's done. Save the storm drain. Close it down. We can close down this. We don't need it. Close down this. We don't need it. All right, let's adjust these pages. So we did yesterday this one and this one. So let's just select all, edit, copy merged. Page 24. Drop it in. And we got to resize. This is just formatting for print. My out of print Strength Monsters comics that I'm going to bring back. Oh, let's go. File, save as. full color copy, page 24. Okay, save it. We gotta get rid of this artwork. And then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about this page. So doesn't fit. I'm thinking if I stretch it, it's not gonna really matter. Let me see what would happen. Yeah, that doesn't really change it one iota. I'm just gonna do that. Bring that up just a tad. It's full bleed. And it looks good. Save that one. So that's page 24, formatted. Now page 25. Same thing. Select all. Just drop it in here and see what we're dealing with here. Looks pretty good. Put that one in. Delete off this one. File, save as. This is the thing, when you start making your own comics and stuff, everyone thinks it's gonna be like, oh, you're just gonna be drawing cool stuff all day. It's like, no, you're not. You're gonna be doing this, formatting the thing for print, you know, putting in the letters, correcting colors. Like, you can be doing all this other boring stuff all the time. It's the way it is. Oh, I see it cut off a lot down there. That's why. Okay, it doesn't really matter that much. All right, we're going with that. Oh, uh-oh. What do I see who says? Shit. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Good thing I did that right away. All right. So 25 is done. Close that one. 26. What is this here? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. Let's make all the characters pop. Duplicate that. Flats. Wand. All right, that guy's selected. Come on, eyeball. That guy's selected. That guy. That. And all right, we got that selected. So we got everything selected here. What? Okay. Okay, so we're back to where we were. There we go. Just drop that down like that much. Perfect. Okay, this is 26, so all copy this one merged. Save it under the correct number right away so we don't accidentally hit that save button and overwrite what we just did. Okay. Yeah, get out of here with all these check boxes. I've got to stop the stream soon because there's so much I got to do still. I've got to clip my streams today. Yet again, this is supposed to be full bleed, but it's not. Designed to go about there. I think it'll be fine if I do it like this. See how that is. That's pretty cool, I think. If I just put a burgundy background behind it. Or a black one. Something like that. Let me pull up another page. I'm just going to go with this color. And it's the same. And then we're going to go here. I don't know. I'm just gonna do it like that. That works better. Hmm. Okay. Don't need this open. Okay, for this one, same thing. Get this one done. I think I can go full bleed on this. I don't know. Weird. Some of these pages are just formatted kind of weird. Leave all that. All right, that's cool enough. Now we've got to go to this one. There we go. Now these guys are a little brighter. Save that. Select all. Almost wonder if I could like expand that so that it just takes up the whole thing. No, I'm not gonna mess with it. Select all, edit, copy merged. Put it on there. Save this what it's supposed to be. Save as page 27. Making our way through this book. Pretty soon we'll be able to send it to the printer and get this back in the inventory. Get Strength Monsters back in the house once again. Definitely want this page to just be like a full bleed. I like that better. there. I don't care that this blam's getting cut off. It still makes more sense than like having an extra space there. Boom. That's it. All right, it's ready for prime time, baby. Save those changes. All right, here's what I was coloring yesterday. We need to make some more progress on this. I'm going to just start line holding the line art. Get all these trees with a color hold on the line art. All right, that's looking good. Color hold this banana tree here. Let's get this foreground stuff done. Okay. All right, that's fixed up. We gotta get this middle ground done. Boy, does that look better. All right, we'll get this stuff done. All right, so now there's still more to do here, but what I want to do is in my rendering, see about doing this. And this is going to have to go under the texture. There. So let's just finish out this grass part. Too thick. All right, got that filled in. Let's fill in these ones. It is a jungle adventure type story here. A genre of comic books that have been pretty well lost. But there was a time in the 1940s, especially early 1950s, there was a million jungle comics. There was Jumbo Comics. There was all jungle themed. There was Jungle Comics. There was like All Top had a bunch of jungle stuff. Like jungle stuff was everywhere. And it just like kind of went away at some point. Okay, that takes care of that. I'm gonna go slight darker. Go to my lines, alpha that with the alpha lock. Let's paint these in something. They're not just black. Painting it all in, that's cool. Now, let's see here. We need to do the splatter coming up out of that. So we're going to go Let's try the dark. I haven't used it yet. Let me see here. It's not that bad. I'm gonna ignore this for now. Want to add this, so we're going to add where we're not selected correctly. And now it's minus where things are not. What the heck? There we go. Things are not selected correctly. That's pretty good. Okay, brush this. That's weird. Why does that look so weird? Let's put this on a different layer. Okay. What I wanted there. Now let's go with the light. A light scatter there. That's pretty good. Cool. All right. Now let's select. Actually, let's keep it going. Let's do a. Just break it up a little bit with this. Then what I need to do is hit. That way that feels more integrated with everything. We gotta do the trees so that they feel like they're living in the same place. Kind of hit these trees with something, and we're kind of better off than we were. Okay, now this is looking more like it's all in the same environment. Now there's a few more color holds here. For this guy, looks like if we do this. And see what it looks like if I fill it now with this color. Yeah, that's cool. I'll do it. It's gonna... This will be the last thing I do for this background today, and we're gonna keep working it tomorrow. I don't really know that I like that too much. Let's see if there's a different color that works better. That's better. That's looking pretty cool to me. Go a little darker on this thing here, kind of pull the stuff in somewhere here. I think that's going to work. I think we're going to go with that. There's still more stuff to do. Oh, let me see what happens if we put these guys on here. Where's the monkeys here? Here they are. This background's kind of overpowering, but that's not too bad. Put a little texture on the monkeys, change that. This has to extend all the way to here. So that's got to be fixed. That's another thing we'll worry about later. I feel like this section here, though, needs something like this. It needs its own texture. And what I'm thinking is like a charcoal one. And maybe this one, this color. Okay, that helped a lot. A little bit of texture there. Feels a bit better. What happens if I do that? I'll layer it on top though. A little too bright there. Okay, now let's go to the trees. I think it's good enough. I want to do on that one. Yeah, that's better. It's not like glowing in the dark. All right, that's it for that. Tomorrow, we've got to extend this background into this area. And then we'll clean it all up, put the things on this guy, finish all this, and we'll get these two panels completely done. Because then this background gets recycled into that background. This background, we just have to do a few things to change it, and then we'll have to color adjust and fix all this. We're almost there. Looks like a lot, but it's actually wrapping up. All right. That is going to do it for today. I am calling the stream. We are done. I will be back tomorrow with a new stream. 2 hours, 56 minutes. I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye and good day.